Word Spoken podcast.
See, when it first started, I was just a little bit sad, so I pushed it down and I stepped on it. But soon after that, a little bit sad turned into a little bit mad, so I pushed that down and I stepped on that. But then soon after that, all these feelings, they just kept piling up inside me like mountains, so I continued to step on their rocky edges to mask the pain. And now, stood at 50,000 feet, and all I want to do is jump. I scaled these rocky edges to mask the pain. Stood at 50,000 feet, looking in on my life. My speech is paralyzed on this sleepless dawn. Negative spaces held me by my palms, carrying me along cliffs, lifting my insecurities above sea level, making a freckle of my self-worth. But my cells are off this earth, so I'm hoping once my body hits this ground, maybe it won't even hurt. Instead, I'm hoping that we might just reconnect and the pain will simply just disperse. I scaled these rocky edges to mask the pain. And now I'm stood side by side with suicide, suspended, soaring on embankments, reciting poems that allow me to say everything I need without having to say anything at all, bleed everything I need without any of the pain of having to relive it all. Because before I figured if no one could really hear me, then did I even really fall? But now I wish I could dance my thoughts across the monotone waves this wind has curated from your essence. I wish my keynotes could speak a music into my speech, into my spoken word in this world where actions speak louder than words. Instead, these negative spaces held me by my palms as we shook the hands of shadows. And I clocked the noon that dialed in on my thoughts, calling me in to this beautiful darkness. It was like sunsets with broken moons, and it spoke with such a violent calmness as it handed me his tools. And now my speech lingers in cylinders. It teeters on this 9mm covered in gunpowder residue. A silence smothered in the 30% industry rises in gunpowder revenues. I can smell it as it simmers on my fingers. See, the pitch of my voice is held in the choice of your aim, so maybe this is the only way you will hear me. Stood on cliffs this high, I bet the forever sound of my cry will echo in every gunshot round. I scale these rocky edges to mask a pain, reciting poems that allow me to say everything I need without having to say anything at all. Because the more I breathe life into these lines and attempt to line up my life in one breath, it grants me just enough space to tame this anger in the name of projection. I should have let my keynote speak a music into my speech, into my spoken word. Instead, this silence sits and clicks on the stutters that drip from this slip. My silenced tongue slipped and tripped on its own spit. Now, every horrible word that I ever grabbed from your lips are laying heavy on my lids, paying levy to a feeling that I'm afraid can now never be undid. Because it's ironic how you never really saw me until I closed my eyes.
So there we go. That was Becksy Becks.